what exactly is the problem with the McConnell-Reed proposal, and what exactly is the problem with the Gang of Six as it's currently set up?
Well, good question. First of all, Jim Jordan is a great leader. He's a great American patriot. He's been a big part of pulling together this compromise of cut, cap, and balance that gives the president what he asked for, which is a $2.4 trillion increase. And believe me, that was a hard pill to swallow. And the only thing that allowed the Senate or the House Republicans to do this with Jim Jordan's leadership and Speaker Boehner is, okay, if we get some real cuts and caps, and if we get a balanced budget amendment, then it's worth giving the president what he wants at this point. But the problem with the other proposals is, first of all, they're not proposals. There's no plan that we can look at that's a McConnell-Reed plan. It's something in writing that we can look at and consider what the details are. There's no Gang of Six proposal in detail. There's some bullet points, but they admit that this is not going to be ready for August the 2nd. It's got to go to committee. It's got all kinds of different tax changes in it. It's got spin, and I appreciate the work there. I mean, the Republicans on that Gang of Six are some of my best friends. They're great Americans, but they said that they did not intend this to be part of the debt limit debate. They intended it to be part of long-term deficit reduction. So what we're talking about now, there's only one plan on the Hill. There's only one that has passed, meets the criteria that we have to avoid losing our credit rating, avoid defaulting. And so the president can have the money he wants, but he needs to work with us. And if he wants to debate how much to cut, what the cap should look like, what the balanced budget should look like, let's do it. But the Republicans have put a very reasonable proposal on the table, and I think it's time the president look at what we've got instead of just saying, no, I want something else. There's no other plan right now that we can respond to.
Now, the Republicans have put various plans out there, and this is actually going back to Congressman Paul Ryan's proposal, which with fixed Medicare and all this kind of stuff, to how the Republicans are spending it. Now, that was absolutely torn apart by the left-wing media. There was commercials brought out, which obviously very dramatic and exaggerated, where the Republicans are pushing Granny off the cliff and all this kind of imagery. Now, the Republicans keep putting out plans, but they're the only ones putting out plans as far as I see. And I'm not speaking as a partisan. I'm speaking as what I'm seeing. I know this is not the Obama administration's job, in theory, as a president, but if he's the one that's criticizing everyone, shouldn't he be stepping up to the plate and offering some sort of, either amendments to a particular proposal, describing what he likes about it, what he doesn't like about it, instead of just playing politics with it?
That's the question. That's the best question you could ask. Is the president says, "Oh, he's put everything on the table" or whatever, but the fact is, there's no proposal from the president. The only thing we've gotten from the president all year is his budget that would double our debt, which tells us he's not really concerned about our debt. But now he's talking about a big deal that would cut $4 trillion. He's not talking about cutting $4 trillion. He's talking about, based on his budget, instead of adding 10 or 12 trillion to our debt, let's do 8 or 10. So we don't have serious proposals we can respond to, but the president's just been playing politics with the media, saying he's put everything on the table, Republicans are obstructing. It's completely the opposite. The president has not put anything on the table. The only bill that has been presented was by the Republicans in the House. They voted on it. It passed. All the Republicans in the Senate support it. We're going to bring it up on Saturday. The Democrats say they're going to filibuster it. So we just have to ask them, if not our plan, where is your plan? You control the White House. You control the Senate. As yet, we don't have one plan from the Democrats.
Now, was this just posturing by the Republicans? Because basically, as I mentioned before, everybody knew that the proposal would die in the Senate, although you do have 39 senators out of, I think there's 47 actual Republicans in the Senate. You have 39 co-sponsors to the Cut, Cap, and Balance Act of 2011. Was this just a move to get people on record and to...
This was, it took a lot of work. Republicans in the House did not want to raise the debt limit. They felt like we needed to deal with the spending, not increase the debt limit. But they were willing to work with the president and compromise and give him an increase in the debt limit if he would work with us on long-term reforms. I think we'll get all 47 Republicans to support it in the Senate, or at least close to that, and we probably will get some Democrats, just as they did in the House. There were 5 brave Democrats who bucked their own party and supported cut, cap, and balance. So it was a pretty overwhelming vote, and I think by Saturday when we vote on it, we'll get more Democrats. But we just have to keep asking the president, if you don't like this, what do you like? Send us something we can respond to or debate. But if the Democrats won't even let us bring up and debate a bill that has passed the House, then I think Republicans can honestly say, we've done our part, Mr. President, now it's your turn.
Senator Coburn was on Sean Hannity's show earlier today, and what I think is one of the most, if not probably the most aggressive interview I've ever heard Sean Hannity conduct. And that was a follow-up to the interview he was doing with John McCain yesterday on his radio show, which is a lot stronger and a lot tougher than I've heard from him in the past. Now, one thing that really stuck out to me was that Senator Coburn admitted that the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Republican leadership as a whole are in need of a moment of clarity. How do you feel about this? Because the leadership in the House and in the Senate at times has looked very fragmented and has looked off message and ununited. Do you feel that they need a moment? Go ahead.
Well, I think they've had it in the House. Speaker Boehner stepped up. With this cut, cap, and balance bill, he led the Republicans, got almost every Republican to vote for it, along with some Democrats. So he put a proposal on the table. He showed leadership. Mitch McConnell is now supporting cut, cap, and balance in the Senate, and we'll have a vote. Most Republicans, or if not all, will vote for it. I don't know what else we can do as Republicans to say, this is a bill, we all support it, we're willing to work with you on any details or amendments you want to add, but we can't debate it if you won't let it come on the floor of the Senate. I literally don't know what else we can do, because all the president has put on the table are just these vague generalities, and we can't vote on that. We can't vote on a speech. So I think the president has manufactured a crisis here. He wants a crisis so he can blame his economy on the Republicans. He's pushed us up against the deadline with his Biden working group that he never intended in good faith to come up with agreement, and he brought back raising taxes after they started this with the understanding that there would be no new taxes. We're just asking that tax rates stay the same in a recession, and I think that's common sense. But we need a long-term plan to reduce our deficit. And the people are not being told by the media that Standard & Poor's and Moody have said, if we raise this debt limit without credible long-term deficit reduction measures, they're going to downgrade our bonds, which means our interest rates are going to go up. And that means we're going to be spending probably $1 trillion more a year just on our debt.
Would you say that President Obama is voting present because this is a label that he's received where, he's indecisive or he just doesn't want to put pen to paper? He'll make a speech about something such as, gay marriage and be a proponent of it, but he'll never actually advocate gay marriage. He'll advocate civil unions, but he'll root on when, gay marriage law was passed in New York not that long ago. Is he voting present here? Is he paying lip service? What exactly is he doing from your best estimate?
I think he's been AWOL. He's been doing campaign fundraisers all over the country. He really hasn't been a part of this. He asked for a straight-up vote on a debt limit increase several months ago. Even Democrats in the House voted that down. And so he has not been here. Now he's coming back and saying everything's on the table. I've been working with everyone. He hasn't been doing that. And what he's been doing is burning the clock up so he can create a crisis, hoping to blame the economy on Republicans. And I just don't know how anyone who is looking at this seriously could say the president has put any proposal on the table. He has not shown leadership.